Hello, and welcome back to the Dungeons & Dragons Podcast UK. My name is Yazmin, and I will be the DM.
Hi, my name's Colin, and I play Cuin de Greymont, a paladin from Gavany.
Hi, I'm Spencer. I play Caddo Chasseur, a cleric also from Gavany.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I play Ogvar Surefort, a ranger from Kessig.
Hi, my name is Samantha, and I play Elora Greyvale, a sorcerer from Nephalia. After the weary travellers disembarked their wagons at the Wheedling Weasel, everyone got to enjoy a good helping of the hearty fare on offer. Our companions concluded that chicken seemed to be the dish of the day. In fact, probably any day with a Y in it. With their bunks beckoning, the party retire for some rest and respite. Or so they hope. Episode 56, Boons, Breakfast and Bones.
Okay, so you'll head off to bed. I'm assuming you're each going to find yourself a bed to pick. Yeah?
Yeah.
We've all, yes, so we've retired and gone up to bed.
Yeah, okay.
Was it unisex? I know you said it was different sides, didn't you?
No, so the room, when you go up to the first floor, there's a big corridor, and off those corridor are kind of other big rooms. And in this room, some of them you've got these kind of double, bunk beds. Some of them have just got single beds, but they're all just mixed. It's literally just a case of grab yourself a bed. There's a key in the lockbox at the end of the bed. Pop your stuff in, lock it up, put it in your pocket, go to sleep. It's just open. You just pick where you sleep.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
Right. Well, our bags here, bottom bunk somewhere. That way the dog can curl up on the bottom of it.
Elora's a bit lighter than the lad, so she'll take higher location.
Okay, well, I suppose I'd better go on the bottom, because nobody wants me and all my armour perched above them, do they? So,
Well, the only problem with that is that hot air travels up, so I'm not going above him.
Oh, I suppose I will have to take it.
Okay.
Ogvar climbs up onto the top bunk, fully dressed.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
I assume the glorious Esther's with us as well.
Yes, Esther's darted off, and she appears with like kind of night dress on and a little nightcap on. And says, toodle pip, sweet dreams. I'll be over here if you need me. And she climbs up to the top bunk of another bed. And where she is, there's a burly looking guy in the bottom bunk, and as she kind of goes up the steps, even with her kind of slight weight, it creaks horrendously, and you hear him kind of go on the bottom bunk. And there are quite a few kind of mercenary types, merchant types in these rooms with you. See, it's actually quite noisy. You've got kind of snuffling and snorting mercenaries, the odd fart, and you occasionally hear from like the far corner room where it looks like some kind of rich merchant has set up camp. You can hear some very opulent sounding snores from that side of the room. So
I've got... Elora's got a potion of endure elements. Is she going to need that for this room?
You might need that focusing candle. Clear the air. So you all gradually drift off to sleep. Overnight, you all have dreams. Elora, your dream mainly focuses on the kind of lapping waves on the shores of Nephalia, kind of where you grew up, and the rivers. You can hear, it's very much water. You can hear a lot of kind of burbling water, and you're actually very relaxed and very calm. It's a very calming sound. It's very soothing. It's something you're really used to, and it's just very peaceful, it's very tranquil. And when you wake up in the morning or overnight, you are granted create water once a day as a supernatural ability.
Ooh.
So once a
Crowd
day,
went, ooh.
so once a day you can use create water as the spell, with free of charge.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Ogvar, your dreams take you to the vast hinterlands of Kessig. And throughout the night they cycle kind of through, almost through the seasons. So it's a lot of pine trees, but you almost go through the seasons in your dreams. So from summer to spring to autumn, spring to summer to autumn to winter. And you almost feel kind of like the passing of time. You get this sense that you're stood still, but the world is still moving around you. And you can see various creatures through the undergrowth, through the litter, and you occasionally catch glimpses of what you think might be your old master moving through the trees in the forest and darting through, hunting or tracking something. Again, this very tranquil, very peaceful, and it's all of this is hyper realistic. You can feel the kind of spongy loam under your feet as you stand there. You can feel the breeze on your face, the smell of pine and wood, an occasional kind of whiff of smoke from a far off campfire. It's all hyper realistic, but again really tranquil, really calming. And you will gain overnight +1 natural armour.
Oh. Oh.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Cuin. Overnight, you have dreams of your childhood, of your family, growing up with Casper and kind of playing and having fun. And your dreams almost progress through this idyllic childhood kind of memories, these really good memories, and it progresses through into when you're in the church in the heat of battle and practicing, and you almost stood in a courtyard practicing sword swings and flail swings, and again it's really tranquil, and you almost feel that as you each swing of your sword, of your flail, of your weapon, you almost feel yourself become tougher and more serene almost, as if every swing is releasing kind of stress. And you will also gain +1 natural armour. Okay, so with the natural armour you will need to adjust your touch armour.
Okay, touch on it, so that'll go up by 1 as well.
Yeah. And that'll be a permanent one because it's not obviously physical armour. Caddo. Overnight, you have dreams of your time in the church, visiting the church as a young lad, living with your grandparents, visiting the church for almost like a Sunday mass, and you have dreams which mainly focus around Pickle. And these dreams focus on almost running through forested areas over the flat plains of Gavany with Pickle by your side, and it's almost like you're flying over the land. And as you're kind of moving over the land, and this is this almost supernatural speeds, you're almost flying like a bird. Your vision in the dream begins to fill with white feathers which kind of curl and fall softly around you. And again, you get this wave of calm, this tranquil peace, very kind of purifying, and you feel this really strong holy connection to Yazmin. Being cleric, you're used to your prayers, and this feels like when you're praying, but a lot more intense and a lot more pure. And you gain an extra 2nd level spell slot per day.
Ooh. Nice. It's a good place to keep this, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as
Bit for the
you're
week.
having these dreams, nothing disturbs you through the night, even though, as Esther will probably tell you, she was woken up several times through the night by people moving around and moving in and out, or the occasional really loud chomp in the corner. You have one of the best night's sleeps you've ever had, and if you have any hit points lost or any non-lethal, you can wipe the slate clean. And
Yeah, old fully off your cart over there.
Elora's feeling good.
And these tranquil feelings, your tranquil surroundings, they persist until you are rudely awoken by an intensely loud siren. Almost.
Oh, what on earth is that?
It wasn't me.
I was having such a
this time?
nice sleep.
I'm guessing that's
Eventually.
that's the klaxon. I'm guessing.
Oh.
Up and at him. And as this kind of clacks, you've seen that there are a couple of people groaning on the floor where they've almost jumped out their beds in fright. But people are now starting to get up and get a hustle on with the day. And this klaxon has resounded throughout the building.
So does Esther, when Esther jumps off her bed, does she parachute down with her night dress?
No, Esther hasn't jumped off the bed.
Oh,
no.
okay.
There's an image
I just had
nobody wants.
I just had visions. The poor guy underneath.
Could be worse. Could be your bat.
Yeah.
And you've got almost this flurry of activity as these kind of blokes are getting up, stretching, belching, scratching the stomach, and starting to get ready for the day ahead. You will, of course, all remember that Leopold told you that this klaxon will wake you up. You will have enough time to have breakfast and everything else you need to do. Okay, and now you've woken up, you've all levelled up as well. So, if you want to go around the table,
Levelling up. Woohoo!
who wants to go first?
Left to right, right to left.
I'll go first.
There you go.
Right, Cuin has an extra 6 points to his hit points. Through the overnight sleep, obviously he gets a +1 to armour, which takes him up to 20. He's changed his one weapon focus from a heavy flail to a bastard sword, and he's also taken the feat exotic weapon proficiency for the bastard sword, and he used his 2 extra skill points into survival.
Okay, cool.
Caddo is now a level 6 cleric. I took the feat Sacred Boost, which will maximise my ability to heal the party if I use up turning slots. My base attack bonus went up, as did my Fortitude, Reflex and Will saves. I gained 7 hit points. Positive roll there, well done me. And I used my 2 skill points into Diplomacy to improve my Diplomacy score.
Okay, cool.
Ogvar is now level 6 ranger. He is at 37 hit points, has gained 1 + 2 natural armour, and has taken the feat Precise Shot.
On levelling up, Elora has now got 31 hit points. She has exchanged her level 1 Light of Lunia spell for the level 1 Mage Armour spell. She has taken the feat Improved Initiative. She has access to 1 new cantrip, and she can now cast level 3 spells. Rowan's hit points have now increased to 18.
Okay, awesome. So now that you've all kind of woken up, what are you doing?
I suppose we better go and have a bit of brekkie.
Breakfast.
Well, you know what they say, an army marches on its stomach. Well, I heard that somewhere. Probably read it in a book.
Well, Cuin certainly does, and Esther reappears kind of by your side, fully dressed, pack ready to go.
Morning, Esther. How you doing?
Oh, wonderful. A bit of a disturbed night's sleep.
Yeah, I was
but-
going to say, I didn't sleep that well. But I did have a dream. Kind of funny dream. I'm not quite sure what it was. You know when you dreamt something and you know you've dreamt but you don't know what it was?
I suppose so. You know, I had a dream once where I was being chased by a wheel of cheese, but...
A wheel of cheese? Right, I'm not sure whether I should ask about this or not, but speaking of wheel of cheese, I think it might be breakfast time.
I mean, do you eat wheels of cheese for breakfast? I don't.
I don't know. If it's on the table and there's nothing else, I guess you'd eat it.
Oh, well.
Cuin would probably eat it.
Well, I suppose we should get going then.
Yeah, good idea. Where's the bathroom?
Right.
Oh, bathroom's just over there, and she points over her shoulder towards a doorway, and there's
Right.
a bathroom down there.
Elora's going to shuffle off, go to the bathroom, and then shuffle downstairs, having all her gear with her and everything. So.
Yep, okay.
I think us fellas have just headed straight to breakfast.
Yeah, I've got all my stuff ready.
Talking about dreams is not our kind of thing.
So when you get downstairs, it is again this hive of activity that you had the night before, only there's less alcohol involved this morning. Again, you've got these couple of barmaids rushing around behind the bar. This time they're taking breakfast orders. And now calls are going out for table number 3, and you can see plates or almost like these wooden trays with plates of kind of bacon and sausages going out. And again, it's this really hearty looking meal, this good looking meal. And when you look around, you can all make me a spot check.
I think Elora's wearing the fried eggs on her head. Over her eyes mostly, like a pair of glasses.
Oh, what a way to start the day.
That's funny.
That would be a nat 20.
Nice.
I'm seeing everything.
Right, Elora got a 5.
5,
20.
20.
Not a nat 20.
Okay.
11.
11. Okay, so with the exception of Elora, possibly because you're too intrigued by all the hustle and bustle going on, like craning, looking at someone's tray as they walk past you. The rest of you, when you take a look around, you can see that Leopold, Ricky, Jeff, Ben and Big John are not yet downstairs. So it's just you guys at the moment from your little group. But in the cold light of day, this kind of pub looks a lot more battered and worn down. You could probably say that with the lamplight and the firelight in the evening, there's a lot of shadows being cast in the corners. And with the kind of daylight now, you've got the fire is crackling. It's a low fire. Obviously, hasn't been stoked up high, but there aren't any candles or anything. Chandelier. There's a big kind of iron wrought chandelier which you'd fill up with candles. It isn't lit, and you've just got the kind of cold daylight streaming in through the windows, and you can see it's a lot more kind of dusty, a lot more broken. You can see kind of cracks in the windows, with some cracked panes of glass, and it just looks a bit more drab and dreary and a bit more cold, a bit less lively at the moment in the morning. Although there's a lot of hustle and bustle going around, it looks quite cold. But there's a couple of free tables. I'm assuming you're probably going to go and find one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah, I think we'll do the same. Pull the tables
Yeah, push
together
it
again
into
like
the
we
tent.
did.
Yeah.
okay. So the table you pick up is table 10, and it's quite it's a table in the middle of the room. So there are quite a number of people kind of pushing past. But it's just a table. Looks like it's got 4 legs at each corner.
Is table 11 next to it? Have we pulled table 11 across as well, have we?
Are you pulling table 11
Yeah,
across?
but we pulled tables across last time, so we probably
Okay.
do the same.
So tables 10 and 11, you pull them together, push them together. Again, it's a bit difficult with all the kind of uneven floorboards. The legs are catching. You're having to kind of half lift it, half drag it. But yeah, you push these 2 tables together, and you can see that on these tables there are already a couple of menus just left, like these bits of paper tacked to hardwood boards. And when you pick up these, you can tell that some of them, the tacks are actually sticking out the back, so it's rough.
Right, well, I assume it's just a set breakfast, just one breakfast then for me, and we'll just order breakfast for everybody. And,
Yeah, I'll have a full Gavin.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So on the menu there is like a full breakfast. There's a couple of like kind of lesser, like lower tiered breakfasts. They've almost put like tier A, tier B, tier C breakfasts. Tier A is where you've got your bacon, your sausages, your beans, all the bits, and tier C is where you just kind of got a bit of a round of toast. And in restaurants there's coffee available, there's water, and there's watered down ale available.
Right, well, Elora will have a tier C and some coffee, and she's going to pull out there is a book that she was given by Sophia at the Spine Mine, which was a navy leather-bound journal.
Yeah.
And Elora's she's not, in the last couple of weeks she hasn't had much time to really sit down and look at this, so she's having a good look at it, and she's going to start and write out some of what's happened in brief notes to try and bring her up to date.
Okay.
Try and keep a track of what's been and gone since she reached initially Drunau rather than Gloomrest.
Okay, so you're starting to just kind of write down your adventures.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm fancying the old number A with a nice coffee.
Oh.
What do you two reckon?
I'm with you, Cuin, yeah.
Well, I wholeheartedly agree.
What about you, Esther? Are you having toast or are you joining the big boys?
Oh, I'll join the big boys, I think.
Oh, there we go then. Are you sure, Laura?
Yeah, I've got some hot pastries in Orland, so I'm just gonna,
Lifetime supply of pastries.
Okay, it's no problem. Right then, I suppose we better go up and. Shall we? When the lads come down, should we buy them breakfast? You know, they bought us. Leopold bought us.
In the room, isn't it?
I don't know. Are they included, the breakfast?
Did I say that? I think I said they were.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
well there we go then. We don't even have to pay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Ah!
Get an extra sausage for the dog.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
just order everybody some breakfast, and if they come down, they come down.
Does the breakfast come with toast?
The full breakfast does, yes.
Well, we might as well have the
All
5 full breakfasts,
Yeah,
and then we
just-
can pinch the bits and pieces.
Yeah, we'll have a little spare off of Laura's plate.
Yes.
Yeah, it works for me.
Awesome. There we go then. Ha ha.
Laura's just gonna shrug and get back to writing.
Does anybody want my mushrooms?
Okay.
I was about to make a joke about beans, but I won't.
So free mycologist. Is it free mycologist with every plate?
So you head over, you order your breakfast. It has been prepaid for you. So you order your breakfast, and it isn't long while you're sat there before you get a call of 10, 11.
Over here, young lady.
The tray is left on the bar.
Oh, I suppose we better go and get the saddles. Don't think much of the waitress service here, but hey,
Well, for
Worth a
God's
try.
at
sake,
least the food's good.
It was
for
worth
God's
the try,
sake,
fella. It
Cuin,
was
they're
worth a try.
busy. They're busy.
Okay. So Cuin, I'm assuming you're going to go and grab the trays.
Yeah, I'll go grab. I said I might need more than one person to carry all these 5 trays.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll come and help carry.
Damn, I had balance check right on the tip of my tongue.
I had a feeling you might.
Esther will pop up with you and give you a hand.
And Kiddo, so we're all right there.
Yeah. So you bring the trays back to the table, and when they're placed down in front of you, Ogvar and Elora, they are full plates of steaming breakfast. And when I say full plates, I mean the plates are bigger than your normal kind of plates you'd get in the guild. And it is piled on with beans, eggs, round of toast, bacon, sausages, kind of all these kind of breakfast foods you can imagine. It is just piled on.
Elora's looking up and going, hang on, Orland, open up. She's going to put a pastry back in Orland, and she's going to pull the plate towards her because suddenly it's looking really appealing.
So you've got these plates of steaming breakfast, and they haven't skimped on anything. I mean, there's like 3 rashers of bacon, 4 sausages. They are big meals. You get your money's worth here. And along with these, you get a big kind of tankard of your drink of choice, whether it's coffee or ale. They don't do anything other than tankards here.
Okay.
Okay. So I take it you're going to put your book aside. And,
Pop the book away and give that up for now.
Okay.
This looks like a nice snack, doesn't it?
Good way to start the day, this, isn't it?
Oh yes, it looks very appetising, and Esther digs in straight away.
So how long have we got until the ferry goes?
Well, I assume we've got to at least wait for Leopold to make an appearance. Unless he's outside already.
Right.
I was going to go and try and squeeze in a quick pray.
Oh.
My morning devotions straight after breakfast. I thought I might wander down to where the ferry is and crack it there, and I can always finish off on the ferry.
What are you going to pray for? That it doesn't sink?
Well, I'm hoping that happens anyway. Just my daily devotions.
Fair enough. That's okay, Caddo. I'm going to open the flap in the side of my thing and see if Rowan's still in there.
Yeah, Rowan's hanging there. He kind of looks up at you from where he's hanging, almost does like a mini pull-up and just goes... Whee!
Elora's just going to look, wrinkle her nose slightly and push the cover back down on it.
Okay. Yep. So while you're eating your breakfast, it isn't long before Leopold appears. And you're kind of greeted with a, "Oh, morning lads, morning ladies. How we doing?"
Yes, yes.
Morning.
Nice wake-up call?
Yeah, that was a little louder than I expected, to be fair.
Well, you know, when you're on the road, you get used to it, but...
Slept very well though. It's a good place to have a bit of kip in it.
Yes, it's not bad, I mean. It'd be nice if the rooms were private, but at the end of the day, place to put your head. As it is, decent meals.
Well, yeah, they skimp a bit on breakfast, but we've managed.
Right, and kind of following him are Ricky and Jeff. Ricky and Jeff kind of look still half asleep. Ben's looking around kind of nervously. He's quite a nervous, from your kind of travels with him, you can tell he's quite a nervous disposition. He's kind of darting around, kind of jumping and skittering at the slightest noise, and Big John's just following up at the rear, just plodding along. And Big John kind of, he skips the table, he goes straight up to the bar, and you can assume he puts in the orders for breakfast for Leopold and the lads. So Leopold turns to you and goes, "Right, so shan't be too long until we're off. We'll get our breakfast done, we'll start sorting out the carriages. Got the tickets," and he waves in his hand at a kind of a bunch, like a small bunch of tickets, almost like a carnival ticket, like fair ticket kind of size, little stumps, terrible stumps on them, and he waves them in the air. He goes, "So we've got our tickets here. Should have another 40 minutes till the ferry starts looking at loading up, so yeah. As long as you're kind of back at the carriages before we need to get queued up, then, or get called up, then, yeah, should be good. So, you know, there's some time to kind of have a look around, not much to look at here, but, you know, if you want to visit town or, you know, anything you want, really."
Oh, okay.
Right, well, I'm gonna take a wander down to the ferry, Leopold, to just have a look around, make sure it's safe, and I might do a little bit of prayer while I'm down there. But I'll meet you down there, all right?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Laura's going to slip out the door now. Obviously, she's not going to eat it all, but she pushed her plate away, and well, if anybody wants any more, there's a bit left. I'm going to go out. I'm not going to follow Callow, but I'm just going to go out and have a look around and stretch my legs and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, well, I suppose I could force a bit more.
She pushes the plate across, slides it down the table to Cuin.
Yeah.
As she
Esther
goes.
helps it along its way by lighting a load and nabbing a piece of bacon off of it.
Yes, you haven't touched your mushrooms. Do you want these mushrooms, Ogvar?
Oh, no, thank you. They're all yours if you wish.
Okay.
I don't think he's got mushroom left after all that.
Ha! You'd be surprised.
Okay, so I take it Ogvar and Cuin, you're going to finish up your breakfast?
Yeah, Ogvar will just sit quietly, find himself a corner to that and prepare his spells for the day.
Okay.
So, take 10, however long that takes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish off the food. I'm gonna go, right then. I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna see about sorting out this prayer and this spell. Because I don't have to take as much time as Caddo, but just want to sort out this spell. Right, I'll see you outside. Nice bit of fresh air.
Okay, right. See you later. Goodbye.
Okay. Esther stays with you, Ogvar. She just kind of keeps up a bit of running narrative in the background while you're kind of praying, just chatters quietly to both you and herself.
Okay.
Just keeps you company, really. Okay, so, Caddo, you take Pickle with you, I'm assuming?
Oh, he goes everywhere with me, yes.
So, as you walk down towards the docks, or the kind of pontoon almost, where this ferry pulls up, as you get closer, you walk past Tarns, you walk past this guard post, and again you can see these couple of bleary-eyed guards kind of wandering around, a couple of them patrolling between buildings, a couple of them a bit further out, and then you've got a couple kind of stood in the doorway of this tower, just kind of keeping an eye out. And if you crane your head right back and you kind of look up into the sky, you can see occasionally what looks like a helmet kind of bobbing around on the very top of this tower. Obviously there's someone up there keeping a more kind of overwatch position. But as you kind of get down to where the ferry is, you are greeted with your kind of first sight of the river Ospid. Where the ferry is, it crosses quite a large. It crosses part way up the mouth of the river Ospid through this delta system, and you've got this very it looks very solidly built wooden pier, wooden pontoon, and it's got kind of planks lying across it, and these very thick, almost like someone's buried some reasonably large tree trunks in as kind of support beams and tied them all together. There aren't any railings up, it's just a flat pontoon, but you can see where the chain is anchored on the ground, and it's anchored to the left of the pontoon into the ground there, and they are big thick chains. They're almost as thick as your forearm. They're really, really solid chains. And down by the river, it's actually quite peaceful. The river is rushing. It's a very fast flowing river, and you can hear it as it's kind of carving its way along the shores. You just hear the rushing of water. There's the occasional cry of gulls and seafaring birds, and looking across, you can perhaps, if you make me a spot check again.
Slightly less impressive than the last one. That would be 8 all in.
Okay, so when you look across the river, try as you might to make out the shape of the ferry, you can't really see more than kind of like a blurry blob. There is a mist coming off of this water. It's early in the morning. It's a little foggy. And this fog's just kind of hanging over the surface, and you can't really see it. You can hear the sound in the distance of the clanking of chain, which you obviously assume is the ferry coming closer, but you can't see anything past it.
Okay, and does it look tidal? Does it look like the tide goes up and down?
Yeah, I mean, you could perhaps say it does look slightly tidal. This is a delta, it's the mouth of the river, it's almost estuary-like, really. So yeah, you could probably say it's tidal.
Thank you. Right, well, I'll pick a quiet spot. It's a lovely spot, actually, for a prey, so I shall pick a quiet spot. Yep. Supplicate myself.
There are quite a lot of waterside foliage. There's quite a lot of reeds. Obviously, where this pontoon is, it's obviously in kind of like a lazy curve, outside curve, and it's very kind of placid and calm in this area.
Perfect spot.
Yeah, so it's actually really quite idyllic. Bit of, as I said, bit of fog. The ground's very kind of dewy and damp, but you could say it might turn out to be a nice day. You can see that there's sunlight maybe burning through.
Oh, sunlight in Innistrad?
Yeah. Perhaps looking like it's going to burn through the kind of fog relatively quickly.
That's quite portentous, sunlight in Innistrad.
Yeah. Okay, Elora.
Well, Elora's just wandering around. I'm just perched against perched on a box or something that's maybe just outside, or a trunk that's maybe outside the front of the inn. Just looking, really at the street and just taking in what's around in the street.
Pick me a 20% interval.
50 to 70.
Okay. There is a 20% chance that if you sat on a barrel it would collapse. This is the kind of place the wheedling weasel is. So yeah, you perch yourself on a barrel, on a box, just something that's outside, and you just spend some time just taking it in. Yeah, again, you can see, like Haddo, you can see that it might turn out to be a fine day. Very kind of weak sunlight at the moment piercing through the kind of clouds, and this kind of like fog layer just hanging low over the ground. As you're sat there, you're closer up, obviously closer to Tarns. You can hear the noise of him perhaps starting the forge, kicking the forge into life. from where it's been low burning overnight. So you can hear the sounds of like shoveling as he's throwing in kind of coal or wood, feeding the fire up, and just kind of getting ready for the day ahead almost, you can imagine.
Well, while she's listening to that, she's just taken this ironstone that is kind of... It's something I had to attune to, isn't it?
Yeah, so you have to attune to the ironstone. Yeah.
Right, okay, so I've yet to...
No, so the attunement process for the ironstone is literally just picking it up.
Oh, okay, cool. Right, so obviously I've attuned to this ironstone, but she's going to sort of catch this stone and just... which is circling round the brim of her hat, and just have a look at it. It's pink and green, it's really pretty.
Yeah, so it's not a strong pink and green, but it's a very pale kind of quartz pink and kind of like a jade green. And it's not kind of like in swirls, but it's a very nice kind of mottled colour. It's only small, kind of palm, it fits really nice in the palm of your hand, and it's very smooth and rounded.
Yeah, she looks at it and admires it because it's actually quite a pretty thing, and then she just sort of flicks it back up onto the brim of her hat, and it just starts to circle.
Yeah, so it starts circling along the brim of your hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Cuin, what are you doing then when you wander outside?
I'm just going to go outside and have a little wander around, go towards the forge, and see what he's doing there. But he's doing mainly doing blades and armour and stuff like that. It's mainly,
so from what Leopold told you, Tarn is someone who people go to if they need emergency carriage repair. So as you wander over again, you can hear him starting to warm the forge, shoveling some material to burn into the forge, and you can feel it's hot, but it's not the kind of heat where you'd be blacksmithing at, but it is still warmer than the surrounding kind of area. And when you kind of look over there, you can see that the way the forge is designed, it's an open forge under a canopy almost. This canopy is made of sticks which have been dug into the ground, and there's been leathers and tarps just kind of stretched over to form an awning. And you can see that where these kind of beams are, these tree trunks and beams, you can see there's bits hanging off. You can see like pins for wheels, bits for axles, you can see the odd spoke. There's all sorts of various bits that, although you won't be able to go, that's this, you know that it's from a carriage, or it's for a carriage, and it's something that he would use to fix a carriage. So yeah, there's a lot of this kind of stuff. Rough. It's very rough looking. You can tell there's no real finesse. It's not the same quality that they would use in Gavany to forge armour, or even to forge carriage pieces in Gavany. It is very rough and ready. You need a quick fix. There we go.
I'd have a quick look, and then I'd probably go down and have a look to see how the ferry's doing.
Yeah. So you wander down to the ferry, and again you see this wooden pier, this wooden pontoon, the reeds, and you see kind of Caddo sat there with Pickle, and you can make me a spot check as well.
I think my visor just fell down.
What was it?
That one.
Yeah. So as you kind of step forwards to kind of almost kind of put your hand up to your forehead heroically to look into the far distance, you almost kind of slip slightly on a rock, and your hand instead goes tonk, and your visor comes crashing down.
Oh, damn it, boss. I'm going to have to maybe get a new helmet. This visor's really annoying me.
Okay. So some time passes. You'd have finished your prayer, Caddo. You'd have finished setting up your spells and praying for your spells.
Yep.
Ogvar, and so would you, Cuin, because obviously you've done this while you're kind of wandering around. So what's everyone doing?
Elora's going to wander down to where the dock for the ferry is, where the pontoon is, and just kind of hang around there, I guess.
Yeah. So as you're kind of stood there at the docks, you've all kind of met back up. I'm assuming you're going as well?
Yeah, I'll make his way down.
Yeah. As you all kind of stood there, you can tell that the ferry is moving closer. You can hear the sound of clanking chains moving closer. It's very kind of rhythmical clank, 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 clank. chain. It's getting louder, it's getting closer. You can hear now the sound of water breaking over the breaking over the front of the ship or the back of the ship, depending which way you're looking at it. And yeah, you can actually start to make out the general bulk of this ferry now.
It's quite large, presumably, to take carriages and stuff. It must
Yeah,
be.
it's actually really quite large. Looking at it, you could say you could probably fit 3 carriages side by side across it at the widest points, and it looks relatively long. Yeah.
Well, that's a decent sized ferry, but then I suppose it would have to be. She's going to look around and see. Obviously, I presume there's a number of people amassing there ready to embark.
Yeah. So, as time's gone on, you can hear noises coming from the stables next to the Wheedling Weasel. There's been an increase of noise over there. People getting horses ready, hooking them up to the carriages. There's a couple of eager people who are just kind of sat there waiting with their carriages, but there aren't many. People have just started to kind of trickle down now, almost.
Is our carriage down there, or have the boys brought it down, or...?
No, it's not down there yet.
Okay.
Did any of us check with Leopold if he needed a hand with the carriages this morning?
No, that's all right. I never thought of that. I suppose we
Well,
better
I
might
think-
as well go and have a look.
I think last time we offered, he was just like, no, that's the boy's job, and he when we offered to offload, when we got here, it was like
Yeah.
probably best stay out the way.
I mean, we can see him. It's not like he's far away, is it? If he comes into any bother, we can nip up and help him. But they don't look like that sort of crowd, to be fair.
No, I think they can probably manage.
They've got John with them. With Johnny, I think he's a strapping man. I think he'll be able to help them out.
They've also got Ricky and those 2 waitresses, though.
Well, yes. Right. I think John might do the work of 2.
Okay. So, time's passing by, and the ferry's nearly at the shore now. And as it's come closer, you can see that it's actually, it's not so much boat shaped, but more like a floating pontoon. It's square, it's blocky, and it's really quite flat and wide, really. And as time's gone on, you can see more and more people kind of lining their carriages up. It's all done very orderly. People lining their carriages up, and you hear in the kind of, not in the distance, but in the background, you hear Leopold. You go, right, come on then, let's get going.
It is a question of waiting to get on the ferry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we all get onto the ferries we were, the wagons we were on earlier, or are we just going to walk on?
I think I much prefer the foot passenger. I can get closer to the side in case don't look boats.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is probably a walk-on job.
Okay. There you go.
Leopold will tell us if he wants us to sit on the wagons while they're on the ferry.
No. True. So we wait for Leopold to come forth, and
Okay.
we'll walk within.
Yeah. So another 5 minutes pass, and the ferry, the clanking of the chain stops. And it's not long before you hear kind of calling, a couple of men calling to each other, and then you see this ramp lowering, and it's kind of like portcullis style, not portcullis style, but there's a couple of you see men with stood on the ferry turning a big wheel which has got smaller chains which hold a panel up, and that just is slowly lowered down to meet the pontoon. And carriages begin to move forwards. As each carriage progresses up the ramp, it stops at the top, and one of the men on the ferry talks to the person in the carriage, takes off ticket, pulls off part of the ticket, and hands it back. And then the carriage will progress on to the front of the ferry and will stay still. And it's not long before you see the first of Leopold's wagons approaching past you. Leopold and Ben are on this front wagon. And he leans down to you and goes, right, hop on, lads. We're off.
Okay, so if we've all got to get on.
Yeah,
we'll
just
get
fo-
on whatever wagon we were on before.
Leopold, do they do duty free on this ferry?
No. Not duty free, no.
That's a shame.
Is it a rule we must remain on the carriages, Leopold? Because I'm not a big fan of watercraft. You may not want me on the wagon.
Well, I mean, most people tend to kind of just wander off on the ferry.
Oh, okay. As long as I can get off once a month.
Yeah, it's an hour crossing, so there's plenty of time.
Oh no, not an hour.
We'll find some way of distracting. You'll be alright, Ogvar.
I'm not looking for this. The boat across the lighthouse was enough.
You could always get your cards out. That'd be a distraction.
Yeah.
Okay, so I take it you're all going to get onto the carriages you were on before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Cuin, you're on the back of the first one with Leopold and Ben.
We were Ricky.
And Jeff.
Middle.
Never mind, Jeff. Ricky.
So Ogvar and Caddo, you're on the middle carriage with Vicky and Jeff. And Elora and Esther, you climb onto the back of the wagon with Big John.
Oh, we are going on the wagons now.
Yeah, to get on, you
To
have
get
to
on.
go on the
Leopold's asked us to get on.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay, so climbing up onto the wagons, you hear the change in sound of the horses' feet as they go from compacted earth to kind of wooden, and then up the ramps and onto the ferry. And there's a stop when Leopold hands over the tickets. You can see him talking to this guy and pointing behind him at the two carriages behind. Guy counts the tickets, pulls the stumps off, hands them back, raises his hand to Leopold. They have a brief chat. You can tell maybe that they're possibly quite, they know each other, they've had chats before. Leopold obviously uses this route quite frequently. And then you're moving again and you're onto the ferry. Okay. And John, Vicky, Jeff and Leopold take you to, you're kind of about a quarter of the way up the ferry. There's several carriages in front of you, and the carriages are brought to a halt.
You're right there, Ogvar. You're going to be okay.
side by side.
Oh, okay so far, but a little apprehensive, to say the least.
It doesn't look that choppy, fella. We'll be alright.
So the carriages are, they're not side by side the way that people have fallen. It's you fill up the next space along.
Okay.
So you're kind of slightly spread out. There's one carriage in the row in front and then two to the left in the next row back. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I suppose, is it alright to get off now, Leopold, or have we got to stay on the old carriage?
Well, yeah, you can get off. I'd recommend staying on until they've finished loading at the ferry. Otherwise things get a little confusing.
I suppose. Easy to get confused, I suppose. So, there we go.
Okay.
So we're just going to stay there until...
I'm going to ask Ricky if he had any luck with the waitresses.
Nah, no luck. You know me, I did my best, put charms on, but... well, didn't work.
They looked interested when I saw you. I thought you were doing alright.
Yeah, so did I. I don't know, I think it might be Jeff. I think he puts him off.
Oh, what, you reckon he cramps your style?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Take Ogvar next time, he's good with the women.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to take you along with me, lad, yeah.
Well, he run away from me straight to you.
Oh, excellent. Wingman of the century. Okay, so not much time, not much longer, 10 minutes or so perhaps, and there's a bunch of other carriages which have proceeded on behind you. And the call goes, you hear a call from the back of, all on! And
We got a bag named that.
And you hear the sound again of this lighter chain being wound back up, the ramp raising up. And it isn't too much longer before you feel the first jerk of movement. And everyone can roll me a Constitution.
Oh, here we go. Seasickness chest.
Constitution saving throw.
So Constitution saving throw or a Fortitude saving throw?
Fortitude save, sorry.
Fortitude.
16.
16,
15.
15,
17.
17. Roll one for your dog.
Well, that's just crap.
He's a water spaniel.
Do I need to make this roll?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm used to being on the water.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you-
I
Yes.
live on
No.
the
Sorry,
sea.
you'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dog gets 16.
Yep. Okay. So you're all fine. You feel this initial jolt, and the carriages rock forwards ever so slightly, and then you begin to hear the slow clank of chain moving. And yeah, you're off. Is there anything you'd like to do while you're on the ferry? It's going to take about an hour to cross.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So.
Release the Kraken.
No, please don't.
I'm
Please
staying on the
don't.
wagon, you can deal with it.
Okay. So are you doing anything while you're
That
on?
needs to be on the wagon.
So are you doing anything while you're on the ferry? Is there anything particular you want to do?
You've got some bird training. haven't you?
Yeah, let's try to
Okay, so you're going to train Murdoch.
Yep. shoot the Murdoch out.
Are you actively trying to train him with his, what is it, his track?
Well, he learned, at level up he learned Seek, and before that he had Theft.
Yep.
So, would like to train him to do more of what were we doing?
Tracking, I believe it was, because you've got Petty Lances down.
Yeah, we'll go for track.
Okay, so make me a handle animal with all the bonuses on.
Yep. 23.
That'll do it, yeah, 23, awesome. So with that, you complete a second week's worth of training with Murdoch. And he's getting very good at this now. How are you going to train him? Are you just kind of throwing things, or...?
Is there any sort of wildlife in the river he could sort of like follow? Or, yeah.
I mean, there are some kind of gulls, some seafaring birds overhead. You hear their calling. You can maybe see the odd fish or two.
Yeah, I'll tell him to teach him to track those and keep an eye on them and stuff like that. Does that work?
Hey. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
cool.
Okay. So, is anybody else doing anything?
Is anybody fishing from the ferry, or what are the other punters doing?
So a lot of these other mercenaries, guards who are hanging around, they are doing that. They are hanging around. They may be having a bit of a smoke, a bit of a chat. There are a couple who are just kind of leaning over the edge. There's a couple who are being violently sick.
Nice. Do we need to know anything about Selhoff before we get there? I mean, we know we're going to the guild to get rid of all the troll's head, the
Bits and pieces.
the
package, the fireflies.
Fireflies, thank you, that's the word I'm looking for, fireflies.
Well, we know that it's.
We've got to drop off the apothecary stuff.
Well, we know that it's.
My teeth aren't working properly today. The stuff for the person who
Apothecary.
makes potions.
We know that it's one of the 4-5 main cities in Drenau.
Three.
Three.
Is there
okay.
anything we
Three.
need to do for the quest?
I don't believe so.
Yes.
Or are we just literally stopping off before we go off to what's his name's tower? I'm
Well-
doing well with names today.
No, well, we
got-
were heading for Genric's tower. weren't we?
Genric, thank you very much. Genric's tower.
Well, we weren't actually looking for anything in specific
No,
here.
no, it's a stopping point on the
Stopping
way
point.
through.
I mean, I shall go shopping. I'll need a
Well, I need to do some armor.
bastard sword.
I need to do some armor repairs.
Silver and armour. And
You wanted to buy a or if you had
don't
to
know
change
whether
a heart.
I don't know whether I can. It depends on whether I can get it. It may not be.
But there's nothing
Some things,
specific.
not
so we
everything
don't
is
need
always
to,
available.
we don't need to find a place, or we don't need to know where the best inn is, or we don't need to know where a particular shop
No,
is.
because we'll go to the guild to stay.
Sod engaging with the locals then.
So I'm
Not
gonna.
required.
I will be trying to sort out my visor.
Okay, so you're going to fiddle with that.
Yeah.
You
Do I want to
can
make a roll on
me a craft armour check.
9.
Okay, 9. I mean, you spend some time fiddling with it. You're not sure whether it's actually helped or whether it would have hindered more.
Okay.
You all right there, Cuin?
Yeah, just the visor.
Do you
Visor paying up again.
Do you want me to have a go and see if I can do something with it?
Yeah.
I can't guarantee I can fix it, but I can have a go.
Yeah, I think when I get to, I might find a when I go looking for a new sword, I might see if I can get a replacement helmet that's got no visor.
Yeah, well, I might be able to do something temporary. I'll try. Do you want me to try?
Yeah, here you go.
Cuin, remember what happened to her tent?
I'm going to attempt to cast mending
Okay.
on his visor.
Right. What do you have to do for that then?
The last time he set her tent on
Just a
fire.
straight spell.
It's just a. Oh, actually, hang on a minute. Have I got mending? That's the next question. No, actually, I don't think
You
I
did
have
have.
mending. So no, I
You
can't.
did have, unless
You
you
did have.
changed it.
I think
Is it a cantrip?
it was a it was a cantrip. Yeah. Yeah. No, actually, Kieran, I don't think I can do anything with it now. I've looked at it.
I have a hammer and a pit on it. You want me to drive that into it?
Esther,
Yes.
Esther, are you any good at mending anything?
Only if it's darning socks.
Ah, no, I think you will have to wait until you get into the city, Cuin. I thought I might be able to do something with it, but it seems that actually I can't. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm just going to. Elora's going to get out the notebook again, the journal again, and she's just going to prop herself up somewhere and sit at a corner, like while they're going along on the ferry, and whilst looking up and taking in her surroundings, she's going to continue to write in the journal.
Okay. If nobody else is doing anything special, no.
It's hugely tempting to ask Ricky if he's got his socks that need darning. But I won't. I fear Esther might hit me.
Okay. So half an hour goes past, and you're roughly in the middle of the River Ospid now, and you've got this constant clanking of the chain as it's being spooled through. You'd assume by someone below deck. It does look like there's like a little cabin in the middle of the ship, kind of where you see the occasional person kind of wandering below deck. So you'd assume there's a bit of, kind of all the mechanics are kept under there, and the captain of this ferry is. And you're kind of halfway across this river, and the current is very strong. Although obviously this is a change-on ferry, you have noticed over time you have been drifting slightly downstream. Obviously to a point, because obviously the chain pulls taut and then it stays where it is. And it's around kind of like the halfway point, so you've got the sun has kind of come over, it's burnt off actually quite a decent amount of the mist, the fog on top of the water. And everyone make me what goes to your sheet please?
Make a oh shit, here comes trouble roll.
Yeah, one of those. Everyone make me a
Here it comes.
She's looking for the spot cracker roll.
make me a balance check, please.
Balance?
And
Balance.
apply all your arm check penalties, obviously.
14.
14.
14.
19 all in.
Okay.
22 all in for
Is that
Elora.
minus your armour?
Yeah.
All of you, as you've stood there, or kind of, I'm assuming you're probably going to have got off the carriages, and apart from Elora who sat there, and all of you feel a sudden jolt as the sound of clanking chains ceases, and the ferry stills in the water.
Ah!
What's going on, Caddo?
Oh, that's just gone straight across my page. What's going on?
I think we've stopped.
Ogvar will look across to Elora. This is more your thing. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know. She's going to just quickly put her book, journal and pen back in her backpack as she's looking. Can I make a spot check?
Yeah, you're on top of the carriage, are you?
Yeah.
Make me a spot check then.
I'm standing up as well, just to have a look, get the extra height.
Yep, okay, you can do that with a +2.
9, 11.
Do better.
Okay. Right you are, boss.
Consider yourself told.
Okay, so with an 11, as you're stood up, you can see that a lot of these people, a lot of these armed mercenaries, are doing the same thing as you. Not stood on top of carriages, but they are looking round, and you hear a cry of vortex.
What? Vortex?
And as you begin to look around, and everyone can see as well, these people who are armed, these obviously mercenaries, people who are used to fighting, they all kind of rush towards where this sound emanated from. And you can see them going to the right-hand side of the boat.
Starboard.
Starboard, there we go. You can see everyone starting to kind of rush towards the starboard side of the boat, and a couple of people leaning over, looking at the surface of the water.
We said vortex or vortex.
Vortex.
Okay.
That'd be spinny water.
I'm gonna look back to her and say, I told you I didn't like boats.
The klaxon roused and rallied the team, and it was all to breakfast before boarding the ferry. Whilst the wagons were being prepared, everyone took a little time to themselves. Caddo wandered to the pontoon to pray for good fortune on the crossing to come. Elora, on the other hand, took the opportunity to record recent events in her journal. Their tranquil early morning drift across the calm, watery expanse was unexpectedly halted at around the midway point, when their floating transport ceased all momentum. Something strange started to occur. With a large foaming disturbance forming at the side of the ferry, everyone on board waited with bated breath to see what would become of the slightly surreal situation.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Having you as a listener means everything to us. So, whichever streaming service you choose to listen to us with, please give us a like, subscribe and follow. We would love for you to join us on our Facebook or Twitter page, where you can catch up with all of our latest news. While you're waiting for the next episode of Secrets of the Silver City, why not pop over to our website, where you can read all of the information about this campaign, from backstories to setting. All of the links are in the bio of this episode. Join us again next week for the next instalment. Thank you for listening.